amendments in this group.
My Lords, I'd like to say that was a rewarding and fulfilling debate in which everyone heard very much what they wanted to hear from my noble friend, the Minister. I'm afraid I can't say that. I think it's one of the most frustrating debates I've been involved in since I came into your Lordship's house. But I did give us a moment, an opportunity to admire the loftiness of manner that the noble Lord Clement Jones brought to dismissing my concerns about Wikipedia, that really I was just over-reading the whole thing and I shouldn't be too bothered with words as they appear on the face of the bill because the noble Lord thinks Wikipedia is rather a good thing and why aren't they happy with that as a level of assurance. I'd like to think the Minister had dealt with the matter in the way that I hoped he would. But I do think, if I may say so, that it's vaguely irresponsible to come to the dispatch box and say, I don't think Wikipedia will qualify as a Category 1 service, and then refuse to say whether it will or it won't, and to take refuge in the process that the bill sets up, when at least one member of the House of Lords, and possibly a second in the shape of the noble Lord Clement Jones, would like to know the answer to the question. And I see a minister from the business department sitting on the front bench with my noble friend. This is a bit like throwing a hand grenade into a business headquarters and walking away and saying it was nothing to do with me, because really you have to imagine what the position is like for them. We had a very important amendment from my noble friend Lady Buscombe, and we all sympathise, I think, with the type of abuse that she's talking about, and not only its personal effects, but its deliberate business effects as well, its deliberate attempts to destroy businesses. I'd only say that my reading of her amendment in number 106 is that it seeks to impose on Ofcom an objective to prevent a Category 1, to prevent harm, essentially, arising from offences under Section 160 and 162 of the Bill, committed by unverified or anonymous users. But surely what she'd want to say, that it should be, irrespective of verification and anonymity, one would want to see action taken against this sort of deliberate attempt to undermine and destroy businesses. So while I have every sympathy with her, I'm not entirely sure that it relates to this question of anonymity and verification. Apart from that, there were, in a sense, two debates going on in parallel in the course of our deliberations. One was to do with anonymity. Now, on the question of anonymity, my personal view, I think the noble Lord Clement Jones put it very well. In the end, you have to come down on one side or the other. My personal view, with some reluctance, is that I've come down on the same side as the government and the noble Lord Clement Jones and others, and I think we shouldn't be banning anonymity. I think there are costs and risks to doing so, however satisfying it would be to be able to expose and sue some of the people who say terrible things and untrue things about one and others on social media. But the more important debate, I think, was not about anonymity as such, but about verification. We had the following questions, but I'm afraid I don't think were satisfactorily answered. The first was, well, what is verification? What does it mean? Can we define what verification is? Is it something that is too expensive? Implicitly, should it be available free? Is there an obligation for it to be free? Or do the paid-for services count, and what happens if they're so expensive that one can't reasonably afford them? And so forth. And is it real in the sense that the verification processes devised by the various platforms genuinely provide verification? Quite apart from the various other questions like that came up, and I didn't really think that any of them was answered. The truth is, my lords, I hate to say this, it sounds a little bit harsh about a government that I so ardently support, but the Triple Shield, also referred to as the three-legged stool in the course of our debate this afternoon, The Triple Shield was hastily cobbled together to make up for the absence of legal but harmful. And it's wonky, it's not working, it's full of holes, it's not fit for purpose. And I think whatever my noble friend says today, there really has to be some rethink of this before he comes back to discuss these matters at a further stage of the bill. But in the meantime, with the leave of the House, I withdraw my amendment.